before, Koberger was the suspect. Pay close attention. They didn't release that surveillance to the news, rather, the gas station surveillance was released, which is timed at 3:45 a.m. Now the problem with that surveillance is the physical footage hasn't been released. Instead, a screenshot of the surveillance was the only lead the public observed. I know many people have their opinions, but here at the Chaos Sector, it appears that screenshot has been edited. It almost looks like a holographic image. Let's examine it once more. There are a few problems with the screenshot that indicate it is not authentic. First off, the upper left-hand corner has the camera, which is on the backside of the cell phone. One of our audience members suggested that somehow that was the reflection of the computer, shown on the backside of the cell phone, that's why it looked so odd. No offense, but that makes no sense. As you see, the right-hand corner displays the person's fingers, which indicate obviously, they are holding the cell phone from the backside, along with the camera to the upper left-hand corner. Yet, the body of the cell phone has a screen displayed on the backside, which is impossible. And if you look closely, you can see the surveillance footage of the vehicle, the road, and everything depicted as the surveillance, bleeding outside of the cell phone's physical shape. Meaning, the road in surveillance, such as the dividing lane marks, bleed outside of the actual cell phone. No matter how distorted a video would be, it won't bleed outside of the physical device that has captured it via a screenshot. Think of an image, or a body of text, that has margins. In editing, bleeding refers to content extending outside of the margin points. Now apply this to a physical device, such as a cell phone, that took a screenshot of the surveillance on the gas station's computer. No matter what the individual did, such as moved their cell phone to adjust the angle, the physical surveillance footage being captured would not bleed outside of. Wait, why am I even explaining it this way? The image is on the backside of the cell phone. How is the camera of the cell phone blocking the surveillance footage? It's literally blocking the front window of the vehicle. This is impossible. Why is there a red hue in the front of the vehicle? It looks like someone went into a photo editing program and clone-stamped various parts of the vehicle to, quote, smoothen the image out. It's not just the blur effect of motion in video footage. If you look at the front door's window trim, it looks like it's been erased, or better yet, there is a dark hue that's covering that portion of the vehicle. Even the road is edited. Examine the divider line along the road. If you observe the line from the right-hand side and follow the left-hand side, you see that the dividing line is crooked. We have keen eyes, my friends, yet this doesn't take much to spot. There is a dip in the road, adjacent to the rear of the vehicle. Now this would be White Avenue, which intersects with Troy Road, near the Mobile gas station, that spotted the vehicle. As you see, the road curves, and even the dividing lines are a bit off, but there's even more evidence of Photoshop. The yellow dividers are not visible in that surveillance, only the white divider, which is to the right-hand side of the road. But then there's more. If you examine to the bottom of the image, you see what would be the pedestrian area along the road. Yet how is that visible, without the yellow dividers being visible as well? The wider the angle, which captures the edge of the sidewalk, would have to expand the view of the entire road, which the yellow dividers would be visible as well. Oh my freaking days, this is without a doubt, photoshopped. Yet, all media outlets have displayed this very image, and didn't think anything was off with it? This is clearly not authentic surveillance. No need to do this to surveillance of a potential suspect spotted speeding down the road, right? And look at the fingers to the right-hand side. The finger on the top is literally transparent. You can see the surveillance footage through the finger, which is impossible with a physical object, such as a freaking finger. The bottom finger is behind, yes, behind the surveillance footage, yet not behind the physical cell phone, as it is depicted as holding it. The blotchy or fuzzy area near the bottom finger, which is depicted as the road, appears to have been edited into the imagery. That's why there is a white smudgy appearance along the bottom half. It was clone-stamped into the imagery, then brushed up to make it appear as one screenshot image. This is unbelievable. I find it strange that nobody in the true crime community ever pointed this out. Clearly this is photoshopped. But everyone can come out and attempt to debunk theories? What about debunking the very vehicle that was reported as the killer's vehicle by the mainstream media? That's the initial point of the case, the hunt for that very vehicle by Moscow PD. Do you understand? Now what does this mean? It means that surveillance footage is obviously fake. There's no other explanation for the visual errors. And if that surveillance footage is fake, despite a real vehicle being shown, it brings into question if the vehicle spotted was used to track someone specifically, from the start. It all makes sense now. The reason Moscow PD didn't release the actual surveillance from that gas station is because it's not a Hyundai Elantra. They literally transformed the white vehicle into a white Hyundai Elantra. Or, maybe that white Hyundai Elantra had a sunroof, and we've discovered, Koberger didn't have a sunroof. So they block out the front portion of the vehicle, which would display the sunroof. Of course, the search for a white Hyundai Elantra with a sunroof begins. I believe the reason the divider lines are crooked, and the road dips in a bit, is because they patched two different roads together. Perhaps the vehicle was spotted on another road, and merged that surveillance with the surveillance on White Avenue. Which would mean, there wasn't a white vehicle spotted by the gas station surveillance, at 3:45 a.m. Do you see this madness? Moscow PD obtained that surveillance, my friends, and clearly there wasn't a white vehicle spotted on White Avenue at 3:45 a.m. Or, it could have been spotted earlier, which would completely destroy the timeframe they claim Koberger was present in the neighborhood. All of the visual noise was used to distract the public's focus away from the editing. The camera is visually distracting, the fingers are visually distracting, and of course everyone will observe the white vehicle in the screenshot as real surveillance. But when you examine the screenshot, and not just accept it as authentic surveillance, you see all of the editing. This isn't the first time we had to examine surveillance,